Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great week. I know I've had a very eventful week. The Trump rally was really great. Thank you for those that showed up, helped collect some signatures and stuff. By the way, if you haven't signed yet, go to my website, nickmyers.us, sign a petition, donate some money if you would, sign for Kevin while you're there. Anyway, I had a request to do a video about my thoughts on the recently passed Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that was done Wednesday, I believe, at the federal level. So I ended up with a summary of what that is. It's a 55-page summary from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So I took some notes in that, and so I've got some pages here that I'm going to be reading from on some of this stuff, so I apologize. I don't know how to make this video short, so it is what it is. Bear with me here. Basically, 17 Republicans agreed to sign on to this act, but it's a long ways away from being done. There's a very good chance that some amendments will be put into place that might sway that decision. So this is a long ways from being finished. This is just a step in, forward for this particular bill. Let's see here. Well, here, let's talk about how it's funded first. So they claim that there's no tax hikes on everyday Americans. I think I'm going to disagree with that right up front, and here's why. We've already been taxed for this. Okay, where they're getting the money from, and there's a lot of things, not a lot of nitty-gritty stuff I'm not going to get into, but $205 billion comes from the COVID relief dollars. Okay, this is money that wasn't spent on COVID relief stuff. So they're just going to repurpose that to do this. $53 billion comes from state returned unemployment insurance monies. I have no idea how much money Arizona returned, but that I'll probably figure that out here soon. But $53 billion from all of the states returned monies. So basically, money that the states didn't give out for people that were unemployed, they ended up returning it to the federal government. That's what they're going to use this money for now. Let's see, they're delaying a Medicare rebate rule. So Medicare is obviously the insurance for the elderly here in Arizona, and so we're talking about taking money that was supposed to be for prescription drugs, and we're now repurposing $49 billion of that to do this project. Speculation of growth is $56 billion. This is money that we don't have. Okay, we're expecting to get from various investments, things of that nature, growth of the economy, whatever. $56 billion of that is, you're kind of betting on the come. I hope we get it. Let's see, taxing cryptocurrency, another $28 billion. So Bitcoin, things of that nature, they're not going to start taxing that. So anyway, that's where a lot of this money's coming from. Items that affect the commission. Let's see, broadband. $65 billion. This has been one of the chairwoman's hot topics is broadband to rural communities and stuff. Well, out of that $65 billion, $48 billion is going to states for grants and deployment. Okay, there's some private sector stuff. There's rural area support, $2 billion. There's tribal support, $2 billion. Now get this. Inclusion is $2.75 billion. So effectively, people in urban areas that have a cell phone, because I don't know too many people that don't have cell phones with high-speed internet at this point, we're going to get this whole Digital Equity Act going, and we're going to make sure that they have additional broadband, okay, and training and the technology and the skills to take advantage of that broadband. So we're going to pay more for that than we are to getting broadband out to the rurals or getting it to the tribes or whatever. Let's see, water infrastructure. Now they grouped a bunch of these subsections together because the funding kind of overlaps in a lot of respect. So we have water, power, and resiliency are all combined into one bucket to the tune of about $174 billion. What this is, let's do a little bit of a breakdown here. We've got grid infrastructure at $29 billion, clean energy supply chains $8.5 billion, fuels and technology infrastructure $28 billion. So a lot of this, believe it or not, is just what it sounds like. It is supporting Green New Deal style energy. Okay, a lot of these billions of dollars are going to clean energy companies, so they're kind of picking favorites in the private sector, if you will. They're also picking favorites as far as East and West Coast. So most of this money is geared towards getting clean energy to liberal states. These are the types of projects that we said would have to be done in order to make it viable. Well, they're not going to rely on the private sector. They're not going to rely on the free market to let it do its course. They're going to invest billions of dollars of your tax money to demonstration facilities like hydrogen demonstration facilities. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's see, $8 billion in 4 regional clean hydrogen hubs to demonstrate the production, processing, and delivery, and another $1 billion to demonstrate the commercialization of electrolyzers for hydrogen. Okay, so they're going to show the commercial world how to sell these electrolyzers. By the way, many of the homegrown scientists have made electrolyzers in their garage, tied them to their cars, things of that nature, and guess what? It's rarely productive, on a commercial scale. But hey, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and spend tax money to try to figure that out. They got, let's see, that was $8 billion for that, $9 billion. They've got another $6 billion for carbon removal and storage and testing facilities. But they put another $6 billion to nuclear, which, it's almost a slap in the face when you're doing $8 billion for hydrogen. Nuclear is by far the best technology, the furthest along in the free market, right? That's the best way to deal with this stuff, but the feds are forcing it to happen, with their own agenda. They are giving a ton of money to grids and the DOE and for loan programs and stuff because they want to make sure they can get windmill power from the center of the U.S. to the outlying states. It is what it is, folks. This is what you get when you elect Biden, I guess. This is what you get when you elect a liberal and Democrat government. I shouldn't even say Democrat. A lot of Democrats are not even on board with some of this stuff. But when you elect a liberal government. Let's see. They are giving. Here's a doozy. $15 billion goes to revamping school buses. So 50% of that should go to no emissions vehicles. So we're talking electric buses. Another 50% goes to low emission vehicles. And it's $15 billion to do that. But you're not going to invest that much money into nuclear generation so you can power those buses. So I don't know what the deal is there. But what this means is I'm a little disgusted that, number one, the federal government's getting involved in a lot of this. A lot of this should be done probably at the state level. Most of this should be done in the private sector and in the free market. Let the commercialization do its natural thing. Let the United States be the leader that it was. Quit trying to force technology that doesn't exist and quit trying to tax people to death to make it happen. It is what it is. You can't fix stupid, I think, is what the comedian says. So I'm just going to rely on that. But here's my deal. If the federal government's going to step in and we don't have much to say about that, then we certainly shouldn't be talking about this type of thing at the Corporation Commission. We need to stop our discussions on energy rules. The federal government's going to force this stuff to happen anyway. The best thing Arizona can do is step out of the way. Our constitutional responsibility is to keep rates low. The best thing we can do is not make those discussions. Let the companies deal with the federal government. Keep rates as low as possible in Arizona. Quit subsidizing, quit mandating at our level. Let our legislature deal with these issues because they're the body that is responsible for doing this. I'm not saying the Corporation Commission can't get involved. We do at the federal level all the time. But we sure are expanding FERC an awful lot. That's the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. We're expanding them an awful lot to do a lot of this clean energy stuff. And in some instances in here, and I took notes on it even, they're giving FERC the power to do things that should be done at the state level, but if the states neglect their ability to do it, then FERC can step in and say, no, you're going to do it anyway. And oh, by the way, here's some money. So, it is what it is. Welcome to the federal government and its power grab. Honestly, this whole bill should probably just be thrown away, in my opinion. Everything in it, just throw it away. Let the free market do it. Let America do what it's best at. Let American companies figure this stuff out. Let American scientists figure this stuff out. Go find the funding. Go do the investments, the traditional way. and then we figure out if it applies at our state level and what's the best. Right now, the federal government thinks it knows what's best for every state in the country based on what this is doing. So anyway, that's my two thoughts. It's a long ways from being done, so don't fret it just yet. But that answers the question that I was asked. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. God bless.